Good morning, students. In our last class, we have started the lesson My Childhood. In that, we have completed some part of the lesson. So, today we will be completing the remaining part of the lesson. So, before that, we were discussing about which person in our story, whose childhood. Yes, that we have discussed about Abdul Kalam's childhood in our last class. So, where he was born and how many siblings he was having and how many friends he was having, all those things we have discussed in our last class. So, now moving to the text. In my childhood, Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan and Shiva Prakash. So I told you he was having three friends. So he has three brothers and sister and three friends. So the names of his friends they have given. One of the friend is Ramananda Shastri and the other is Aravindan and the last one is Shiva Prakashan. So all these boys were from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. So from which families these are? They are from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. So as children, none of us ever felt any difference among ourselves because of our religious differences and upbringing. So these children, they never felt any differences among them. Means because of their religion, they didn't feel any difference because their families has brought up in a broad way. Means they didn't give any narrow thinking, giving any differences of caste and religion. They were not born in that, means they were not brought up in that way. Their family has educated them properly, so they don't feel any difference among themselves. So in fact, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri. So who is Ramananda Shastri? Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmananda Shastri. He is the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. So who was what he was doing? Pakshi Lakshmananda Shastri, he was the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. So later he took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. Who took the priesthood? Ramananda Shastri took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. What was the name of his father? Pakshi Lakshmananda Shastri. Then what about Arvindan? Arvindan went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. So and the last is Shiva Prakashan. He became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. So Ramananda Shastri became the priest of the Rameshwaram temple, whereas Arvindan, he was into the business of arranging transport for the visiting pilgrims, whereas Shiva Prakashan became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. So during the annual Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond called Ramatirtham, which was near our house. Eventually, from the Ramayana and from the life of the prophet were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. So what happened during the annual Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony? So we all know Sri Ramanavami. On the day of Sri Ramanavami, we will be conducting the marriage ceremony, which is called as Kalyanam. So they will be conducting marriage for Sita Rama. So that is what Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony. So what their family, whose family? Abdul Kalam's family, what they used to do is they used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols, means statues we say murtis, isn't it? That one, that idols of Lord from the temple to marriage site. So their family used to arrange ships for the means boats for the idols to carry from temple to the site of marriage. So where is the site? Marriage site is situated in the middle of the pond, which is called as Ramatirtha. So which was near to our house, means which was near to Kalam's house. So events from the Ramayana and from the life of the prophet were the bedtime stories. So you all know our parents, grandparents are very good in telling us fairy tales, means bedtime stories. So even Kalam's mother and his grandmother used to tell bedtime stories about the events of the Ramayana and the life of the prophet, where the bedtime stories means his mother and grandmother would tell him the stories of the events happened in the Ramayana and the life of the prophet in his childhood. So one day when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I always sat in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri, who wore the sacred thread. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri. He looked utterly downcast, and I shifted my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. So what happened when he was studying 5th standard at Rameshwaram Elementary School? So a new teacher has come to their class. So their teacher has observed that what Abdul Kalam used to do, he used to wear a cap. Even we also will wear a cap, isn't it, which represents as a Muslim. So Kalam was wearing a cap which was marked as a Muslim, and beside him his friend, what is his name, Ramananda Shastri, was sitting. So these both were sitting side by side in the front row. So their teacher has observed them. So what did the teacher do? The teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. So that teacher was not feeling okay that a priest's son is sitting with a Muslim boy. And what did the teacher do? The teacher asked Kalam, in accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. So the new teacher said to Kalam to go and sit in the last bench. So he felt very sad. Even we also, if we tell you to go and sit in the last bench, giving some differences, even you people also will feel bad. So even you people also will feel bad, isn't it? Even the same way, the Kalam also, he was feeling sad when his teacher has asked him to go and sit in the last bench. So even not only Kalam, but Ramananda Shastri also felt the same. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted my seat in the last row, and the image of him, it means Ramananda Shastri's face, when he observed, it was like weeping when Kalam shifted his place to the last row, and he can remember the impression on his face. So even if we ask you, two friends are sitting together, if we ask one of your friend to go and sit in the last bench, even you also will feel bad, isn't it? Even the same was happening with Kalam. So after school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher and in our presence told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. Not only that did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed his young teacher. So what happened? Kalam and also his friend went to their home and they have told to their parents about the incident what has happened. Then what happened? Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher and he told the teacher that not to create means not to spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance between the minds of innocent children. So he ordered the teacher not to poison their minds with this caste, religion and all these things, and he asked the teacher to apologize means to say sorry or else to leave the school and also the island. I told you Rameshwaram is a island, so he asked the teacher to leave the school as well as the island or else to say sorry to the children. So not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed his young teacher. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher Shivasu Brahmaniya Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative wife, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. So what happened? On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was rigid in the terms of segregation of different social groups, means they don't have any differences of religion and caste community in Rameshwaram. So however, their science teacher has though their science teacher is an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative wife, he was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. So he don't have that differences. Their science teacher, he was trying to break the social barriers between the people varying backgrounds and he want all the different religious and community people to mingle easily with one another. One day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. So what happened? One day Kalam was invited to his home for a meal. So I told you his wife was very conservative orthodox Hindu. So she was shocked to see a Muslim boy invited to a meal in her ritual pure kitchen. So she refused to serve me in her kitchen. So what did she do? She refused, means she don't want to serve food for that boy. So Shiva Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife, but instead served me with his own hands and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. So what happened? He didn't scolded his wife, nor he didn't became angry on her, but instead he only has served Kalam to sit down beside him and to eat. So his wife was watching everything from the kitchen door, and I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. When I was leaving his house, Shiva Subramanya Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told not to get upset, saying once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. When I visited his house the next week, Shiva Subramanya Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. So, as his wife refused to serve him food, Shiva Subramanya Iyer only has served food for Kalam. But after eating, what did he say? Again, he has invited Kalam for dinner next weekend. So, but he has observed the hesitation in Kalam's face that his wife is not willing to serve. Then what did he say? Once you have decided to change all these systems, so this type of problems will be there, so you don't care about it, and he has invited him to come for dinner next weekend. So when he went again, when Kalam went to visit his house, Shiva Subramanyam Iyer's wife, she only has took Kalam into her kitchen and she only served food with her own hands. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. So what happened at that time? Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. So Indians will build their own India, declared by Gandhiji. So the whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. And so Kalam has asked his father, he took permission from his father that he want to leave Rameshwaram and he want to study at district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. So he told me as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun, alone and without a nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you but not from you. You may give them your love but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. So what happened? His father was telling him that Abul, you know you have to go away. I know that you have to go away to grow. And he said, does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? So he was questioning that without the nest can't a seagull fly? Seagull can't fly. So he quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother, and he was telling to his mother that your children are not your children now. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. And he said, they come through you but not from you, and you may give them your love but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. So Kalam's father was telling to his mother, though they may have come from you, but they are not you. They don't have your own, they don't have your thoughts. They have their own life, they have their own thoughts. So saying that, the story has ended. I think you have understood the lesson. So this story is written by Abdul Kalam. About the author, Dr. Abul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 at Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. He was responsible for the evaluation of ISRO's launch vehicle program, particularly the PSLV configuration, and for the development and operationalization of AGNI and PRI Prithvi missiles, and for building indigenous capability in critical technologies through networking of multiple institutions. In his literary pursuit, four of Dr. Kalam's books, Wings of Fire, India 2020, A Vision for the New Millennium, My Journey, and Ignited Minds, Unleashing the Power Within India, have become household names in India. And among the Indian nationals abroad, Dr. Kalam received honorary doctorates from 30 universities and institutions. He was awarded the coveted civilian awards, Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan, and the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. Dr. Kalam became the 11th President of India on 25th July 2002. So this is about the author Abdul Kalam. So I think you have understood the lesson. If you have any doubts, you can message me, and we'll be completing the remaining part of the lesson the next session. Thank you. Have a good day.